Yeah, Dase, we are live. What's up, guys? My name is Whitey, and I'm joined tonight by Chris. How's it, Chris? How you doing today, bud?
Away masakaness, dude. I'm having a lekker day. My wife cooked me one of the biggest meals. While I'm sitting here, I'm like so stuffed. I'm so glad I'm sitting down because if I was standing up now, I would be like passing out and stuff.
Brilliant. My wife also cooked. She jumped onto the braai today, and oh, what
A
an
braai.
amazing way! Yeah, lekker boerlike braai.
Lekker.
With chicken and boerewors, and because I'm getting a bit fat, I had to stick to the salad. So yeah, I need to, as you know from that video that we made today, you could see Sarah's
Dude,
stomach.
you are beautiful. And listen, just before we even start, I've got to give a shout out to all the guys that have posted their speedo pics and stuff for the SA Bros today. That was phenomenal. You showed bravery, boys. If I look at some of you, you were very brave. I'll put on my brave shoes just to not be outdone by a lot of you guys.
You know, that was absolutely amazing. That was, yeah, I'd like to say from my side as well. Guys, whoever joined us, to all our friends and all Chris's friends and whoever else from Facebook joined us for that video, guys, really big up thank yous. You guys are absolute proper rock
Yeah.
stars. I think Spiker and Kevin needs to get some serious points there for what they did
When this lockdown's over, we'll give them a bells, my brother.
yesterday and how.
One time. But dude, tonight is a super awesome night because we are joined by once again by like the cream of South African rock and roll music. Cito from Wonderboom, a legend in his own right. He's been around for so many years and still rocks the crowds. I mean, the other day we had a show there he had a show there by Winston's, and place was packed. The vibe is always phenomenal. He's such a professional freaking musician and songwriter and just a showman, an entertainer, as we like spoke about last night, but a solid entertainer. And I can't wait to have this chat with the legend that is Cito from Wonderboom.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going live, guys, and I see Chris, lekker braai self besig. Wat sê jy daar, Choppy? Dankie dat jy deel was van ons video vandag, hoor, wat ons gemaak het. Ek hoop jy het dit regtig geniet. En
Jou
dan is
lekker
daar
ding.
nog een, Mr. Mike McLeod from the clan McLeod. This is the man for the guys who are watching. He's the guy with the carpet on his chest. I think it's the third or fourth picture. So welcome to you, Mr. Mike McLeod.
Don't
And
make
then
fun of Mike. He was very brave.
Yeah, and there's your lovely wife, Mrs.
Yeah.
Nikki.
Choffing the guy with the carpet, always telling me I'm not into hairy guys, but she's quick to go, hi, Mike.
Hello, Mike. Hoe gaan dit, Mike? Yeah, that is how it is. And so yeah, so we'd like to have you guys interact with us again as usual tonight. Ask some questions. We will ask Cito a couple of questions, random things from our questionnaire, and then we want you guys to also get involved with your questions. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely. Sorry, man. I know our crowd loves to ask their own questions. We'll choose what questions will be asked to Cito, but keep them coming in and join in the fun, man. I'm sure Cito's just as happy to be talking to us in the same situation. Everybody's at their homes and stuff, and just doing this is like being with family or friends or just having a good time again. It's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So yeah, love you, Nikki. That's wow. Look at Michael already there going. He's
Michael Broken Jaw McLeod.
Michael Broken Jaw McLeod. I like
that one, yeah.
Michael, you hearing that? Tande gaan minder raak. Your teeth will be less sooner. And then who's this? We've got let's see.
The amazing Chris Wonderpool. That was very sexy in that video. Very sexy.
What he's gonna write now. It was glorious.
Glorious. Grillerig, but glorious.
Glorious, exactly. That was absolutely amazing. Yeah. Let me quickly go on here to our page. Just want to make sure everything is live and running smoothly for our interview with Mr. Cito, because we want as many people, obviously, as possible to watch this live stream. Yeah, let's go. Yes. No. Here we go. So, Chris, you chat to the guys so long while I just make sure everything is going live here.
No worries, man. So, guys, let me tell you a bit more about the amazing Wonderboom and Martin and the guys. They have been going for over, it's like 23 years this year, if I'm not mistaken. always been at the top. They have won so many different awards, and they've also been able to travel the world and play their music for so many other guys all over the world. So this is why we do this. We want to share in these experiences and also get to know their naughty sides, not just the stuff that everybody knows, like rock stars, all the chicks and the dope and the parties and stuff, but get to know a bit more about them, the kind of shit they did when they were younger, the their taste in women that was before they got violated by the world of rock and roll and stuff, and also just have a chat to them and find out what really makes them tick and what their plans are forward after all this stuff. With this lockdown, everything has changed for every single musician, not just in South Africa. I'm sure in the world, in some places it's the same situation, but definitely in South Africa, this has changed the way we will do business forward. I know there's so many guys that are doing live shows or streaming now, but definitely
Yeah.
gonna be different.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. So, listen, we are like a few seconds away. I'm just making 100% sure that everything is live because I want this to go as smooth as possible.
Yes, sir. I'm so glad I'm sitting
All
here
right,
because if I was
so
standing.
let me just get that and press a knoppy door and then do that. Press enter, and we are. So, guys, yeah, I think, Chris, we are ready to bring in Mr. Cito for
The
his interview.
legend.
So,
Away.
are we ready for our little intro song? Here we go.
Do it. Let's go. It's the YT and Chris Show, SA Bros. Yeah.
Yes, 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 guys. Please give it up for Mr. Cito from Wonderboom. Here we go. How's it, Cito? How are you, buddy?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Wonderful
Wicked,
yourself.
wicked, wicked.
Yeah, so it's how's lockdown been treating you? It's been now what 4 weeks already. What have you been doing to keep yourself busy, entertain, whatever to do to pass the time? Tell the guys.
Um, yeah, it's been I suppose officially 3 weeks tomorrow, and for me and my wife, we've been social distancing for a month now.
Yo.
I've just been, I suppose, really keeping myself busy at home. Obviously, having my wife working from home, she's picked up on a lot of the DIY things that I've left for so long. I've been procrastinating about. So I managed to touch on those things, but it's been it's been a very cool, cathartic experience. Just appreciating my home, the zoo that I live with, my dogs and cats and birds and everybody, and really appreciating my home and space. And I've been spending lots of time in my studio, creating and being productive. I don't know if you guys have been seeing any of the Wonderboom lockdown posts that we've been doing, our lockdown versions of some of our songs. Been shooting those and sharing them.
Yes, I've been watching it as well. I've been trying to catch up and just make sure we're watching and supporting each other, yourself and a few of our other mates and so on, because everybody is obviously trying to do it now this way, just to stay in touch with our fans, with our friends, with our family, and so on. And
Yeah.
So that is the absolute best. Yeah. So
Well, you know what, watching we've asked him now how he's coping with it. How's your wife coping with having you around like so much now?
I think she realizes that I get away with murder. During the day, like I really fuck around a lot, and
Yeah.
like my time management really sucks. But it's been cool. It's actually very refreshing to know that I married the right person.
Yeah.
I think now is the right time to realize this.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I didn't marry a shitty person. And I hope she's thinking the same.
We upset too, man. Because personally, I think it's going to be a lot of divorces after this lockdown. If I could change
Yeah.
my profession, I would have been a divorce lawyer after this time. Dude, I think those guys are
Not a
going to
bad idea.
kill. Yes, those guys are going to kill. Damn.
Big
And
time.
tell me, like you say, you've got basically a zoo there at the house. I've already met your horse earlier
Yeah,
on, old Pluto. He's a Great Dane, huh?
yeah, he's a Great
Great
Dane.
Dane.
He's a
They
fool.
literally like people. Those dogs. I'm blown away by them every time.
You do
Because
know,
I
Chris.
can ride him.
Yeah.
I'm so small, I can literally ride Great Danes. That's how big they are. But
The dog is bigger than you, Chris.
but otherwise, how have you been like spending all that time with all your animals and stuff? Have you been posting anything with your dogs, or have you managed to create a better bond with your animals now?
Look, I think I work from home, so I think in
Yeah,
that respect, that doesn't really change. Except now that my wife's been working from home, she gets to
yeah,
share some of the dog fart duty. Um,
yeah,
and I think they're in heaven. You know, they're just like, wow, we've got our mom and dad with us all the time.
yeah.
I
So
don't know
much
what's
love.
going to happen to them when we get back to sort of normal,
Yeah,
but yeah, they've really been enjoying, and we've been enjoying them. It's very rewarding when you get to you spend lots of time with them like this. You know,
yeah,
it's like a family at the end of the day.
yeah.
Yeah, awesome,
And
awesome.
tell me, Cito, the studio that you run from home. Obviously, you guys are doing well, you're doing a lot of new writing and stuff. But on normal days, let's say when not in lockdown, do you actually work with different artists and help record other guys' stuff?
Um, yeah, so I don't offer a studio service in that respect.
Yeah,
I do it's all my own sort of personal work. So I do music direction for corporate events.
yeah,
That's where I make my real money,
mm,
and in that respect, I get to work with a lot of great artists. I've had some really amazing people that I've worked with, from Ladysmith Black Mambazo to
wow,
Johnny Clegg to Kurt Darren, Mango Groove, Mafiki
Sure.
Zolo, Shoma
yeah,
Josie. You
yeah.
know, it's just really been such a blessing working with these people and doing the kind of work that I do. I think I've got the best job in the world. You
Yeah,
know, being sort of in charge of all sort of audio and music side of things in these events. So it's just the job that I kind of love, and I've always lived to do. You know. Give
once,
me
man.
1 second. I'm gonna let my dog out to have supper because my wife's finished running her
Yeah,
7Ks and she's ready to feed them.
your dog's got to
Just
go
give me
back
one.
to the stalls. Cool, man.
Let me say,
Just give me 1 second. All right.
One
sure.
time. So,
Yeah,
Whitey,
yeah,
what's cool is we actually getting a cool taste of these guys also have normal lives. They live just
exactly,
like us. Uh, and they all face the same kind of troubles and stuff we do. They're just
exactly.
very fortunate to have like such amazing jobs, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's everybody is in the exact same boat. We're all suffering. We're all stuck with cabin fever. It's just on the way that that it's what you do
Okay.
to keep yourself busy and just
Yeah,
not let it get you. Because if it gets to you, it's gonna put you in a massive depression. Like when we started our little project now to get this going, it's I wake up and I start working at 7 o'clock right through. I don't
yeah,
want to eat. I don't want to mess around. I still need to do my exercise in the day
yeah,
because the stomach is a bit big, but it's something to drive you. And like Cito just said, keeping busy with his corporate work, writing songs, the dogs, the family, it's there to keep us at least busy. And now
yeah.
that Cito's back, I think what we must do
Yeah.
is, if you don't mind, I see Meneer Andre Klute is one of our regular viewers. He would like you to do a slicky. Now, Chris, that's the first question. Chris will explain to you what a slicky is.
Yeah,
Chris?
I should copyright this shit actually because
Yeah,
I've
you
seen
should.
other acts do it. But dude, when I say slicky, if you got a dope in well close to you, you take a dope and you go. When I go slicky, you just take a slicky. Because normally
Oh,
when I jam
It's a,
and I say slicky or somebody else says slicky, I've got to take a slicky. So what's cool now is we all get to take a slicky. I'm not drinking at all.
yeah.
I'm
I
not drinking either, unfortunately.
So we'll have slickies together, Mart. Sita.
my
We'll
wife is
we'll
busy
maybe
pouring me a slicky.
maybe I'll roll a joint or something instead.
I can totally do that with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, so that's
It's
it.
going to take a while, so you don't want to wait for that. Let's just move on to the next one, and then
One time.
There's my slicky that my wife gave me.
Cito.
I'm not allowed to have Jägermeister, so it's a milk shot. Cheers.
Cheers.
Nice, man.
That's
Okay,
why
so
you're
let's
so
go.
strong, Whitey.
There you go. So let's go to Andre's second question. No, he's not partaking in the Speedo challenge. Let's go to the next question. How many tattoos do you have? That's a good one.
Yeah.
I never really count them because I suppose I can because they're separate pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tattoos,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay, and if I can take further on
6,
to that
yeah.
question, to go further on that question, which is your favorite tattoo with the most meaning, if I can ask? You know, that the one tattoo is like, for me, it's my very first tattoo that I got. I will always remember it. It's got a lot of meaning to me. What is your number one and favorite tattoo and why? What is the reason?
You know what? My first one is a very silly amateur one made. No, not that one. This one. That says Cito with an anchor like Popeye.
Yeah.
And when I had that made, it was done by a friend of mine who's an amateur artist, tattoo artist, when I was about 19 or something like that. And I was being typical Cito, where I was like, okay, my first tattoo, let it be an obvious sailor tattoo, and that's what I did. And then my excuse for the anchor was that because I'm heavy. But my favorite tattoo at the moment is the one that's just recently done, which is done by Peppy from SA Hardcore Social Club.
Yeah.
It's basically it's like a bee. It's like a beehive
With bees, yeah.
with bees and flowers and all that. And it's I've the reason why I chose this, bees are becoming very extinct at the moment.
Yeah.
And we need them. We need them in our ecosystem. And you know, it's the real sign of what globalization and industrialization is doing to this planet. So it's my kind of connection. And then I've also got a side project that I've launched, a solo project called Blood Honey,
Yeah.
which is like a sort of a love project of mine. It's something that runs at the same time as Wonderboom,
Yes.
but I get to get my sort of dark, melancholic rocks off. You know, it's like a lot of people, as much as they've been very embracing of everything that Wonderboom does, I still needed a darker avenue. So it's a really cool avenue for me. And the name Blood Honey comes from a swarm of bees that keeps, well, it's a new swarm every time. They like the electrical box outside our house. And the first time I had them removed, there were a couple of casualties. And then the beekeeper guy, he gave me like this massive 2-kilogram jar of honey, raw honey from our hive. And I showed it to my wife and I said, listen, baby, look, we've got our own honey. And she said to me, I don't want any of that blood honey. So that's where Blood Honey comes from.
That makes 100% sense, man. Like you're taking it away from them. I can totally relate to that. That's a cool way of putting it. And tell me, Cito, how long have you had this, I don't know, this darker side, man? Because us old fans, we don't really ever see that side. You know, we know the happy Cito, the like crazy Cito. We never get to see the like a bit more into your soul, apart from the Wonderboom stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I think those who know me know that I've always been a dark motherfucker, and and the darkness, and you know, that makes me happy. Like nothing depresses me more than a happy-go-lucky song, or like I really find beauty in darkness, and you know, it's just the kind of music that I love. Depeche Mode, Radiohead, Nine Inch Nails, song, you know, music like that. You know, Um, Nick Cave. I'm so in love with Nick Cave. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous, and that's just the kind of music that I like. So I've always wanted to create music like that, and I've tried to write songs like that for Wonderboom, and they end up, even though we record them, the guys do it well. They end
Yeah.
up off the set list because our fans want the classics and they want the happy stuff and they want the
Yeah.
dance and.
Mm.
So it and Wonderboom, to its credit, has been very embracing of, especially recently, like our last album, we're a lot more alternative,
Yeah.
and our latest single, Voodoo Doll, is
Yeah.
very, very dark.
Yeah.
So we are crossing over in many ways. Um, but I just needed another avenue for that sort of dark side of stuff, dark side
Well,
of Cito.
well, you know what, Cito? Do you think that as Vonneboom, because obviously all of you guys, for you to blend, all of you must have that dark side in you guys, you know? And do you think that
Definitely.
the way forward, do you think Vonneboom is going to embrace that side a bit more and maybe, I don't know, delve deeper into the darker side of all you guys?
Well, it's true. The Most of the guys in the band do delve and like that kind of music anyway, and
Yeah.
we kind of a lot of the new songs that we're writing are darker in that respect. So we are going to
Okay.
be we're not going to be afraid to go there. I think we've been going for long enough. It's actually 24 years that we're celebrating this
24.
year.
Damn.
Um, and something that we've accepted um, recently is that we need to embrace all sides to this journey and just capture those moments and not be afraid to go there. I think
Yeah.
the only real problem is that when we do festival sets, or when we're in a situation that we're playing to, like, say we do a gig to sort of like a general sort of mainstream crowd, it's hard
Yeah.
to do that darker stuff. So in that respect, it gets a bit frustrating because we have to leave songs like that off our set list.
Yeah.
But luckily, we have a lot of other material to play that we're also still proud of and in love with playing.
Yeah.
And for us, we like writing new material anyway. So um, I just don't like the schizophrenic sort of feeling that I have doing Smile
Yeah.
Pansula and then doing Voodoo Doll in the same set.
Yeah.
We kind of have to make a choice.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Especially
Now,
especially in a short set. If it's a long set, like if we're doing, like, say, an hour and a half, 2 hours or something like that, then we can pull out all these, because then we could take people on this journey, because
Yeah.
that's what Wonderboom is. We kind of capture a lot of aspects of the human emotion,
One
and
time.
I think people get off on that. So in a compressed set, we kind of have to stick to our hits
Yeah.
and what people know, because we don't want to disappoint our fans.
Yeah.
And then when we have the pleasure or the luxury of doing a nice long show, a nice long set, then
Yeah.
we can delve into a lot of the other darker stuff.
Well, you know what? Speaking in the same breath, do you prefer, I don't know, more intimate, smaller gigs now compared to the huge stadium gigs and stuff that you guys are like pretty much used to? Do you feel that you, I don't know, get more intimate on like smaller or smaller places where you guys play?
Um, it really depends on where we're doing it and what songs that we're doing.
Yeah.
Um, there's nothing quite like having a full production at your disposal, and we can
Yeah.
play within that.
Mhm.
But it's also refreshing to do an intimate set where you got to strip the songs down and let the songs do all of the work,
Yeah.
and obviously your performance of it. So many
Yeah.
times, you can get lazy and sort of complacent and comfortable with sitting behind a big production, and everything kind of gets blended in with this wall of sound. And when
Yeah.
you're in a stripped down, intimate situation where it's just the voice and the raw guitar with no effects and
Yeah.
stripped down drums, and there is a lot of power in that, but the situation's got to be right for that, you know.
Okay, cool. So you still treasure both sides of that. That's
Yeah,
awesome, man.
big time. You know, it's, I think as long as it's different every time, I suppose.
Yeah,
You kind of miss either or when you're doing, like, there was a stage where we were just doing a lot of unplugged shows, and
yeah,
they were great for what they were. And what's cool about the unplugged thing is that it really forces us to perfect and concentrate on what we're playing, so that we don't, you know, we don't slack out. Because if you
yeah,
approach unplugged intimate shows with the same kind of carefree, bordering on careless kind of
yeah,
playing, it sounds like shit.
yeah.
So it's been very good for our chops, our tightness, and our chemistry to, like, you know, to do the unplugged thing. You know, it's been good for
That's
us.
awesome, man. Well, we've got Claudia Whitman. I can check her question here, which is actually a cool question. Where is that now? Everything just moved
Is
again.
it
Okay,
this one?
yeah. How did the name Wonderboom come about? Because I know Claudia is one of the younger ones, and that question has probably not been asked in a long time, man.
And I love the answer. I love
For
the
our
answer.
fans, yeah,
Yeah.
Well, you know, years ago when we came up with the name, we thought it would be really funny to just, like, have a different reason, a different answer every time.
yeah,
A lot of people, through assumption, think that we're from Pretoria, and we're not.
yeah,
And Wonderboom is actually all over the place. There's actually a Wonderboom street a couple of blocks away from my house,
yeah.
um, in Rampart Ridge, and um, and there's a Wonderboom town outside of Kroonstad,
Yes,
which is where we got our name. So we were coming back from a Cape tour, um, when we had just joined the band, the Eight Legged Groove Machine, which is the band that myself, Wade, and Martin were in,
yes,
and Electric Pedals, which is the band that
yes,
Danny was in.
yeah,
And we had come back from our tour, driving up the N1 back to Joburg, and we were going through the Free State. And we, just outside of Kroonstad, there was a sign pointing to Wonderboom.
yeah.
And I read it as Wonderboom. And Martin was like, no, it's
No,
Wonderboom.
bro. It's
So,
Wonderboom.
so that kind of stuck with me, and it jumped out at me in a way. And I really love the multiple meanings that it has,
Yeah.
that it had. So we still had to do a whole voting process because we had a really cuck name. It was the Electric Pedal Groove Machine, and
Thank God you went with Wonderboom, man.
yeah, so that was our working sort of name. And when we came back to Joburg in the February of '96, we had voted on different names, and Wonderboom came out on top.
Well, that's an awesome one because I know all the Dutchies are like, hey, Wonderboom, is it the Dachani or something, you know? And obviously, Wonderboom is pretty cool for the English guys as well. So, but I think at the time you guys came out, it was weird for Afrikaans guys to see like an English band with the Afrikaans name, since
Yes.
English bands were like
Yeah,
anti-Afrikaans. It was like the anti-establishment stuff, you know. And then you check
yeah,
this Soti band did with the Wonderboom name. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah,
it's still a shocker for a lot of our fans, and I think,
yeah,
it's, a lot of our fans are, or most of our fans are Afrikaans,
yeah,
and it still happens. Guys still ask me, like, after a show, and they meet me, and they start speaking to me in Afrikaans, and
yeah.
my Afrikaans is terrible. I'm really sorry, guys, but it's terrible. So I don't even try. My bilingual second language is Spanish, because of my
Oh,
upbringing.
mi hablo español,
And
man.
yeah, well, I speak a little bit better than that, but
Okay, it's okay,
but
man.
anyway, so when the guys speak to me in Afrikaans, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Do you mind if we carry on in English? My Afrikaans is really
Yeah,
bad, and they're like, "Oh, hoe kom is jy Wonderboom?" I'm like, it, it's like a bilingual name. You can
you should just
you
fuck him
can
up and
call
go.
it what
It's
you
not
like.
Wonderboom, it's Wonderboom, bro.
Yeah, because that's now so
You'll
easy to
just
fuck up.
mess with Huck's head. He'll just be like, "Oh, what the fuck? What?" That'll be brilliant. Oh my god, I
No,
would
I would
use
never
that
do
all
that.
the
I would
time.
never. And
Yeah,
I can understand, it's misleading. The name is misleading. But
Yeah,
anyway, it's become its own entity. It's become its own kind of institution in a way.
exactly.
So you could say Wonderboom, you could say Wonderboom. It's
Yeah,
completely up to you.
exactly.
once
I like this question from Dolene. Cito, what is your favorite Wonderboom song?
of all time.
Shit, that is a hard one because it changes all the time.
Yeah,
I think and it's songs like certain songs surprise you with when they sort of revive or they rekindle themselves with you.
yeah,
And it happens a lot when we perform it live. Certain
yeah,
songs, like we play them for a while, and they sound cuck, and you actually avoid playing them because you're making them sound cuck. And then all
yeah,
of a sudden, out the blue, you play it again, and it sounds fucking amazing, and everybody's loving it, and they're requesting that song and all that. So it changes all the time. At the moment, my favorite Wonderboom song is a new song that we haven't recorded yet. Well, we've recorded, but it's sitting in the mix at the moment. It's a
yeah,
song called Rabbit Hole.
yeah,
I really love that song. I really feel it's our best sort of it's our best foot forward musically.
yeah.
But as far as the classics are concerned, I would have to say my favorite song at the moment is Never Ever.
Oh,
Yeah,
brilliant.
and that one still sticks with everybody. And tell me, what was your influences for this new album? What influenced you
Um,
guys for this new album, man?
with our last album or with our album that we're recording at the moment?
The one you guys are writing now. What was your influences? What made you guys actually record this way now?
Well, so a lot of the songs come from different seeds in that, sometimes Martin will write a song or I would write a song, or sometimes it's songs that we write together, or
Mm.
um, Martin and I have been writing songs together for 25 years or so,
Yeah,
and and we've hit this beautiful sweet spot now where it's just so easy and flowing,
yeah,
and so our influences come from different places, obviously from music that we listen to, that we
mm.
like, and a lot of it is just songs that are like artists and bands that are in the subconscious. So it's not like we're running with a concept and say, oh, we're going to make a gothic album or
Yeah,
we're going to make a funk album or whatever. It's just whatever we're inspired with that song, bring it forward, and then we start playing around and fucking it up with regards to production and making it sound fresh and stuff.
yeah,
Mm.
So I think a big thing for us is that we've felt that in the past, up until say 10 years ago, we've played it safe within this
yeah,
sort of rock genre,
yeah,
and now we want to like go there. So um, we're having lots of fun with production and just like really pushing boundaries for us. I think for
yeah,
other bands, they'll be like, oh my god, that sounds so fucking ordinary. But
yeah,
for
Mm.
us, we're like really just like we're trying to see how far we can go with regards to experimenting and just doing something different.
yeah,
I'm tired of the same formula. I personally want to write and record songs that inspire me and
yeah.
that get me excited to perform.
Okay.
Um, not that that's never been like that before. We've been in situations where when we were signed to certain record companies and they weren't keen on how out there we were, and I kind of felt very suppressed, and that was many years ago.
Yeah,
So we're not in that space at the moment, but I think those kind of that era definitely influenced us going forward. And since we've been producing our own music for a while, it's been refreshing now to have somebody like Matthew Fink who's going to be producing our stuff going forward for this
that's
album at least
awesome.
anyway.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And it's nice
Awesome.
to handing it over to somebody else, taking away that responsibility of final decision making.
Yeah.
and just like being an artist and being creative and just like really letting go.
Well, I think
Yeah.
that's important. Like any painter or any of the great painters always said, your work's never finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like that's as an artist, I know you the moment you're done, you're like, oh, this sounds good, man. Let's jam it, record it, and everything. And the moment you're done, like 3 months down the line, you're like, ah, that thing could have really used something there or something there.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
always
Look,
like
I'm
painting them.
absolutely. I've been in especially with my solo mission with Blood Honey. I've been sitting on a lot of unfinished songs for years, and it's really bad because like my wife criticizes me for sitting on songs and tweaking and
Yeah.
redoing and redoing, because sometimes after all that fucking around, it's the original demo sounds better than the outcome,
Yeah.
But I've also been in situations where I listen to a lot of Wonderboom recordings and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe we released that like that. Like if we had just like if I had done like another vocal take, or if I had just whatever.
Yeah.
Charlie was done in one take with Martin and myself in the same
Yeah.
vocal booth reading off a piece of paper,
Yeah.
and that was done in one take.
Damn.
And I listened to that, I'm like, oh my god, we should have, if I just played back what I'd done, I would
Yeah.
have like done things so much different.
Well, dude, you
It
know
ended
what?
up being a number one, but what the fuck.
Yeah, you know what's cool is I think that one thing that kept you guys at the top in South Africa is the fact that you guys are so South African. I know a lot of the top bands would like to do a cover of some other band. You are one of the few guys that actually take South African music and keep it South African. You guys take old South African songs and breathe fresh air into it. We got to thank you as a crowd for that, man.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for the appreciation. I think it was definitely a good idea that Danny, our first drummer, had.
Yeah.
Ooh, what happened?
With, uh, we
Ooh.
we had come and
Okay, it seems like we're having just a little bit of
Sugar
technical difficulties,
Drive. Uh,
but
uh, Hello.
yes, no, we're just having some difficulty hearing you, man. We
Yeah.
don't know what it is. Maybe it's a
Okay,
bad
okay, I'm in the
connection.
show. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we get pieces of it. We can hear you.
Can
Yeah.
you hear me now?
We can
Yes,
hear you,
we
but
can.
the video is lagging. It's buffering. It looks like you're kissing
Oh my
Pluto's
goodness.
bum now at the moment.
This is like normal cell phone calls in South Africa.
Well,
Like, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh, gotta love it, man.
am I back?
Yeah, it looks like you're back.
You are back, man.
All right, cool. So what I was saying is that when we had started off as Wonderboom, same era as the Springbok Nude Girls and Sugar Drive and such bands, we had come out of an era where it was a new South Africa, and there was lots of insecurity with original music, and we had come out of an era where there was cover bands that were doing the circuit just because people weren't as supportive with original music.
Yeah.
And so we had we're on this original music sort of revolution.
Yeah.
And when Danny had the idea for us to pay tribute to South African music, it was so refreshing because it hadn't been done really.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we did it, because it was a good exercise for us to do, to break away from our sort of formula that we were at
Yeah.
the time, and it made us really appreciate the great legends that have come out of this country, and the great songs, especially from those days of during apartheid and all that.
Yeah.
Jaluka, Evoid, bands like that, Rabbit, that were in those days where they were original bands, and they were doing something big in South Africa for their day, and they were almost being forgotten in this new kind
Yes.
of era. So it was our way of paying tribute to those that had paved the way for us.
Well, thank you for breathing life into those songs, man.
It was an honor.
Oh,
Some of the songs didn't need it, but it was good for us to do, and it was a good exercise for us to do.
yeah. Well, let's have a look here. What other questions do we have here? Look, most people want to know, like, how did the name Cito come about? Because I think that's the mystery question. Everybody knows he has Cito, but they're like, why is he called Cito, man?
Mm.
So I was born in the States. My mother's Puerto Rican, so I grew up speaking Spanish at home, and my real name is Martin. My father's name is also Martin.
Yeah.
So I was Martin Jr.
Yeah.
Actually, and in Spanish you would say Martincito.
Ah.
So
Oh, fuck.
I was Martincito for my childhood and siblings, and my mother would call me Cito, and that's where what everybody knows me as.
Okay, cool. Now it makes sense. Like, it's your
Mm.
mamacita and your papacito, man.
And Despacito.
Yeah.
I had to, sorry. I had to.
I know. That's too bad.
No, I'll never do that
From the
again. You're a rock
Gariacha
star.
system. That's good.
Well, you know what? I've got Boss Bling that asked a cool question here, man. They said, if you could go back in time and change anything, what would you change, man?
Yeah, I really don't like the whole regret story.
Yeah.
However, I do have one regret, and that is that I had wasted a good 3 years to cocaine addiction,
Yeah.
and I really didn't make my life easier, and my creativity, was really sort of buffered during a time that I could have really optimized and made the best of my youth. That's my one regret. I wasted lots of money and lots of time. It's a real big soul and personality killer, and obviously a
Yeah.
creativity killer. So that's my one
Absolutely, man.
regret. Besides that, I have no regrets. And even in that era, even in that time, there's lots of great parties and stories, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for those times.
Yeah.
But if I were allowed to sort of go back and correct something, it would be that.
That's awesome, man. And I see here Michael McLeod. That's a cool question, man. What good up and coming local rock bands do you like now? Do you still get to go out and watch some local, new rock bands?
Yeah, I think because I'm so busy, I don't really have a lot of recreation time going out.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time creating and working in the studio.
Yeah.
So when I do go out, and if there's a band that I really want to see, then I will go and see them. So at the moment, my favorite sort of indie rock band or indie band is Diamond Thug. I think they're really, really awesome.
Okay.
I was a real Medicine Boy fan, and
Yeah.
they've recently broken up, although they're busy recording their last album or something like that. But
Yeah.
they really I was obsessed with Medicine Boy.
Yeah.
Amazing band. And BCUC are my favorite South African band at the moment. They're unbelievable. They're incredible. They are really representative of where South African music should be right now.
Yeah.
And they're making waves overseas as well. But I really love BCUC.
Awesome, man. Dude, there's so many questions I actually want to ask you that I'm like
Go for it.
overflowed by a lot of them. But one thing that I really want to know is 24 years now jamming with the same guys. I don't know a lot of relationships that can last that long. I know I was only married for 7.5 months. So
Yeah.
that's tough. Yeah, I've been married once. Can you believe it? But we all do stupid shit. That was like a cocaine phase for me. That was my cocaine phase after the cocaine. But like maybe you got some tips because I know there's a lot of South African bands here that sound phenomenal, and somehow I think it's always us older rocker guys. We like think okay, it's you learn 3 years. Okay, that's how bands go in this. But obviously, you guys have had the recipe right from the word go. How to like stick with the same guys. Maybe it's just because of the guys you're with. Maybe you can give us tips on for a lot of the younger guys on how do you keep your band together when there's so much ego and stuff involved.
I think the thing with Wonderboom is that we're like family. We're friends first,
Yeah,
and we didn't just get together and make music and went off our separate ways. Um, there was a stage where we were just like in each other's faces all the time, and we
yeah,
had built up a relationship all that time, and it hasn't been an easy ride. There were stages where I was down and out, and the guys had picked me up, and there were
yeah,
times where the other guys were down and out, and we'd be there for each other. And I think we, I, I, I think if we were doing it for the money, we wouldn't be together.
yeah,
We make music together because we love jamming together. We also believe in each other. We respect
yeah,
each other.
yeah,
We believe that there would be no magic
yeah,
if we weren't together. So
yeah.
even though we have our separate side projects and things like that, what
Mm.
Wonderboom has is the Wonderboom is the classic example of being greater sum than the parts,
Yeah.
and
It's like
like
family, man.
individually, yeah, big time. Being able to tour together, being able
Yeah.
to share a bed together because there's not enough beds going around. Um, Seeing each other at our worst times,
Yeah.
putting up with each other when we're being assholes, like, and still loving each other and still being there for each other. I think that's what's kept us going for so long.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
knowing that we're actually sitting on something special, we know that we've got something special, and
Yeah.
that we're always striving to write that great song.
Yeah.
That's never gonna end with us. So, and performing live, we just love
Yeah.
performing live
Well, because you know
together.
why I asked that? Because I know with all the bands I've been in, bands fight, and some of the bands I've been in where we had that family aspect, we were like, okay, so we learn to fight without staying angry with each other. Whether it's writing a song and fighting with each other about what's the right thing, or it goes into your personal lives, off the stage and off the music, you fight. And I think a lot of guys think that like a lot of the successful bands don't fight. I don't think they realize
No,
how much we actually fight.
yep,
Yeah.
it's like a relationship. It's the longest relationship
Absolutely.
I've been in, and 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 I think that when there's no greater sort of equalizer you
Mm.
know than being in a band with the guys that I'm with, who are
Yeah.
completely honest with me.
Yeah.
Um, and we've experienced some amazing highs together, which I think is important. Like being in a
Yeah.
relationship, if it's always going to be cuck, then chances are you're in the wrong relationship.
Yeah.
But if you've got some amazing highs and you've got some lows, and you still withstanding each other, then that's the answer. At the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I
So
can see a question from Deborah.
yeah.
What's the craziest thing that has ever happened at a gig or on stage or off stage with you guys? The craziest thing.
Yeah, that's a good
Oh
question.
man, there's there's been plenty of those situations. There's something that happens when Wonderboom performs sometimes that
Yeah.
it gets people sort of. I don't know if it's like people are living their fantasies through us performing on stage, or if it's like a charismatic situation where we just like working people up because of the energy of our performance. But
Yeah.
there's been some crazy, like, there's a venue in Joburg called the Radium Beer Hall, and
Yes.
the first couple of gigs that we were doing there, like the first 3 or 4 gigs that we had done there, with the gap of about 3 months between each gig, we noticed a pattern of people getting all sexual and freaky on the floor. At one gig, there was like this threesome going on next to us on the side of the stage. People were like, obviously they had drunk a bit too much.
Yeah.
But these two girls and this guy were like, they were getting so like,
Into it.
very amorous, very into it, very amorous with each other. That was quite amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we've got tons of stories. 24 years, you can imagine.
Yeah, I can only imagine, man.
I wanna tell a quick crazy story. Sorry, Chris.
No, hit it.
We met before we went live. I told a story where we met you live at the FIFA Fan Park when the soccer was on in 2010 at Centurion. So what happened was, that's 10 years ago. Can you believe it?
Damn,
so we met you guys. And there was 2 or 3 other bands still before us, and we started doping with you guys, and we started doping. Now we ran the entertainment for this function. Now you weren't on in the evening 7 o'clock. I think it was like a 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So we still had about 5-6 hours of working, making sure 30,000 people have entertainment. And I remember what can go wrong? I remember we got so drunk, and when you guys went on stage, there was this lady. She was the MC, but she was such a boring lady. And in my drunken state, I thought, the hell with this. You don't know how to introduce a band. And I grabbed the microphone from her. I didn't actually run on stage. I just grabbed it, stood backstage, and I went mal, and I said, guys, give it up for one of South Africa's top rock and roll bands. They're going to fuck shit up, and you guys are going to party. And the people went absolutely ballistic. And then the next, after your show, we continued doping, and I can't remember much after that. But the next day, because it was SABC that was running it for us, and we got called into a meeting, and they gave me so much shit for stealing the microphone and swearing and going mal that we almost lost our damn job, because it was like the 3rd or 4th day into a 2-month Soccer World Cup, that we were almost about to lose everything. And I sat there and like, shit. But she was so cocky.
I take no responsibility.
No.
I take no responsibility for that.
I was fed up with this chick. She would have gone up there. Hello, this is Wonder 3 from wherever they're going to sing now.
From Pretoria.
And I just couldn't accept that. And I remember doing that. And I got into so much cock that day. But anyways, that was one of my best stories with you guys.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. So let's go back here to the guys. Chris says he's got a cock question. Who is in this band? Who's the band member you like the least? Yo, ouch, Chris. You really want to ask a question like that?
Yeah. That's not a cool question.
Don't ask the moody Cancerian that, because I'll just tell you it's me.
I hate myself, man. Damn.
I hate myself.
Well, we got guys from Fishhoek here tonight. Lekker Lee McMaster Stickend. Yeah. He was also featured on our beautiful video today. Maybe we'll get Cito to give us a nice speedo shot if his wife lets him.
I don't know. I don't know that this is going to happen, Cito, but a lot of the viewers have been asking if you'll do an acoustic set with the guitar hanging there at the back for us from your new song. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, because that's what the chicks are like. Fans never care. They're just like, hey, there's a guitar, play that.
Yeah,
it's always like
I've never done that.
Is this going to be a virgin moment here?
Should I take a chance?
Do it, man. Do it.
You'll be. Come on, let's go for it. Let's go.
I haven't even rehearsed this on my own or anything. Jeez, I'm taking big chances here.
Guys, while Tina's preparing there, you guys are going to hear it for the first time live on SA Bros. Remember to go and like our page on Facebook, our Twitter handle, and on our YouTube. Please subscribe for more exclusive content like this. We had Morgan performing for the first time, and you said, now we're going to have Martin. Martin, are you ready for us?
Please, call me Cito.
Cito, sorry, buddy. Okay, so let's
It's a mystery. What's really going on with me? Oh, so hard to see. Hollywood for the trees. Uncertainty is really part of life, you see. We need to figure out the seeds, how we came to be. So you wanna know what makes me cry, what keeps me up at night, terrified, clutching at my chest, breathing for how far we go. A penny for your thoughts, you got the nerve to fall into the great unknown that we don't know.
No, no,
How far we go. Ooh, it's travesty. What goes on behind the scenes? Stumbling through my memories, all the things they shouldn't see. Oh, follow me. Let's get lost in fantasy. Take my hand, don't look down, it's still me. This is all you have to see. So you wanna know what makes me cry, what keeps me up at night, terrified, clutching at my chest, breathing far, how far we go. A penny for my thoughts, when you got the nerve to fall into the great unknown that we don't know. How far we go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that was absolutely amazing. Now,
Holy
just for
shit.
How
that,
was the sound? Was the sound okay?
we had a
Dude,
bit of technical issues in between, but it survived. It actually came out very nicely. And for that, I'm going to drink a slicky to you. Well
oh,
done.
nice
Thank you
one.
so much. And as
Nice
you can
one.
see, this is not milk. This
That
is
was brave.
Jägermeister. So thank you so much, guys.
Oh, nice. Enjoy,
Cito
man.
performed for us. Cheers. Slicky.
Okay. Oh, dude,
Slicky.
am I right by saying, did I hear some like Puerto Rican flavor in that? Is that like something in the blood that still like pumps through?
Yeah, probably. I think Hispanics are very dramatic, and we like our minor chords and things like that.
Oh
But
yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a Latino song.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think it's
you
just,
thanks for picking
dude,
that up.
it's that flavor. It's like me being a Dutchie. Without trying, I can make a song sound like Buramisik in no time. Honestly. And I think if I was a Rasta, I could make freaking anything sound like reggae in the same time, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, maybe
I,
you.
I think it's something that's in the blood, man. Yes. Well, listen, so that's obviously the flavor you guys are going for. What's your new album going to be called?
Oh man, we haven't even discussed that yet.
Is it?
That we always leave to the last minute.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like when we did the not the last album, not the album before that. Jesus, the 2006 album, City of Gold.
Yeah.
Everything was ready. The artwork was ready. The songs that were all mixed and mastered, and we needed to make a decision on the album title, and we were stuck for about 2 or 3 days. We just couldn't decide on an album title.
Yeah.
And the one day I'm driving, my mom was in the car with me, and I was on the phone with Martin, and he's like, we need a fucking name. Everything's being held up, and everything's in production being held up, and we need the name. And I was so frustrated, and we just couldn't decide on one. And I hung up, and my mom's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, we're struggling to find a name for the album. So she says, okay, well, name me some song names from the album. So I named It's Great to Be Alive. Best Side. Uh, we had all of these Brain, like all these titles, and then I said
Yeah.
City of Gold. She said, "That one, that's the one."
And that's
I
what
was
you
like,
called it.
"Yeah." And we're like, "Okay, cool. Let's." So I swung it past the guys, and they're like, "Yeah, that sounds cool. Let's do it." And
Yeah.
so that's how we called City of Gold, City of Gold.
Well, maybe you have a recipe for finding the right song names. Just get mom to help you guys out, man.
Yeah, I'll give my mom a call in the States.
One time.
That's
Well,
brilliant. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, go on, Chris.
no, I wasn't saying anything. I thought you were getting very deep there, Whitey.
No, I'm just looking at the time, and we're about to run out. So, Sita, I'm actually going to ask you. The floor is yours. I think what you did there for us with your little acoustic set and talking to us, it was absolutely amazing. And we'd like you just to plug whatever you want to do. What's coming up? What is the plans going forward when this lockdown is over? I think people would, because people would love to see Wonderboom. People, when this is over, people are going to bum rush the clubs, the pubs, wherever they can see anything, hang out with their friends, just party. Like a couple of the big bands have already phoned me and said, dude, listen, when this is over, they want to come and perform at our new venue called Churchill's View, where you guys were actually booked for, I think it was June.
Yeah.
It's a 400-seater. It's right next to Winston's. And they all said, listen, we just need to get out and play and get the name up. So what is your plans? What are you guys going to do? The stage yours. Do say what you need to say.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. I think it's a bit of a difficult position to be in because of all the uncertainty, all of the gig cancellations that we've done. What we have been doing, though, as you've seen, we've been posting lockdown videos, performance videos that we've been doing of our songs.
Yeah.
We've had lots of fun doing that. We've got a few more coming your way, so please look out for it. I think a big sort of message from us is please show your support by visiting our Facebook page and liking. If you haven't liked us already, please go onto our Facebook page and like us. We are going to be releasing a new single very, very shortly, so when that comes out, please share it and download it and listen to it, and please keep being such wonderful fans that you have been. It's because of you that we carry on going. It's because of you that we write songs and we perform. And when this lockdown is lifted, please come and support our shows. We live for performing. We love performing for you guys. It's always different. It's not a copy and paste show. It's always spontaneous. Whoever's in that crowd is a big part of our show. So please come and support us. And if you're not supporting us, then please just support any live South African music, because we need it. The industry needs your asses in those clubs. We need you to come and support our live shows. So we are working on a live streaming performance that we are going to be doing, something that we should have done a very long time ago. This whole situation has made us reassess where we're at in this universe, and we are definitely going to be embracing innovation in the future more warmly, and look out for a live streaming show that we are going to be doing quite soon too.
Yeah, and that's going to be on your homepage?
It's definitely going to be on our homepage on Facebook. I think what we're going to try and do is we're probably going to do one of these platforms, these proper streaming platforms that offer it and they monetize. So that'll be cool. But yeah, all the info will be on Facebook. It'll be on Instagram. It'll be on Twitter. Visit us at all of these platforms. And guys, please be safe. Please stay at home. Don't be vindguts and try and be heroes out there. You're going to be a hero if you stay home. So please just comply so that we can nip this thing at the bud and not have to deal with this beyond what we are already.
Yeah,
dude, I couldn't agree with you more. And I think you said the wisest words there is you can be a hero just by staying the fuck at home.
As
And
simple as that.
Yeah.
yeah, and we will get all our fans, future fans, everybody, to make sure that they get to check
Yeah.
out your live streams. We will make sure that we share it on our side. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for being with us
Thank
tonight,
you,
Cito.
brother.
Once
Awesome.
again, my brother,
Thank
you
you.
are a legend. You've been around forever, and you still have so much inspirational stuff in you.
Yeah.
We can't wait to listen to the new album and to get
Yeah.
some new Cito flavor, baby.
Definitely can't wait.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
Thanks a
So
lot,
again,
guys. I had lots
from
of
my
fun
side as
tonight.
well. Awesome. Thank you so much, Cito. And we'll chat soon. Have a good night.
Thank you, YT. Thank you, Chris. All the best, brothers.
Cheers,
Cheers, my
buddy.
brother.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, guys. So there you have it. That was Cito live with us, and Chris. Yo, that was really a good interview. A lot of people have sent me messages on Facebook and WhatsApp saying what an absolute amazing show that was. And
Oh, dude,
and
you know what? It makes it easy when the guys that we interview are just such amazing personalities. I mean, Cito, he's been through it all and still one of the most humble, most beautiful human beings. I'm sure one day if you meet him in person, you'll know that this guy's just what a beautiful soul. And hopefully you walk away with something tonight that helps you see the beauty, the way that Cito helps us see it in his music and just by being him.
Exactly. And you know what, guys, just to end off the show, I've got two things to say. Firstly, please go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, like our Twitch page, like our Twitter page. We are growing every day. You can ask Chris. We get up early in the morning and we work and we work and we work. We want to get this platform as big and as possible. We've had now two artists that did their new song or mix or whatever it is live on our show. We're still a new show, but we are small. And then the last thing I want to say from my side is, remember, tomorrow night we've got the legendary prankster himself, Darren Wackhead Simpson. Now that is going to be, dude, that is going to be huge. Wackhead Simpson is going to be in the house. So, guys, please catch us tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. We'll be going live at 10 to 7. But Wackett will be joining us at 7 o'clock. So thank you guys from my side, YT. And after Wackett show, Chris and myself will be DJing again live on Twitch. So we want you guys to come and support us. The more support and love we get from you guys, the more celebrities we can get. So guys,
and we'll be sure to chuck in a couple of Wonderboom tracks. So go check out Wonderboom's page. Support these guys. They are supporting us. Support them. If you've never been a Wonderboom fan, go and check out their music. Just get into their lives, and I promise you guys, you will be fans after that.
Awesome. That's it. So guys, have a wonderful night. Stay home, stay safe, and be a hero at home. Cheers.
Amen. SA Bros, baby.
SA Bros, here we go.
Goodbye, everybody. From SA Bros.